Alright, hello everybody. This is going to be a quick tutorial on a very introductory, basic level of using Google Docs. Sort of a level 1 tutorial on Google Docs. If you're familiar with Microsoft Word, this is going to be totally a breeze for you. There's only a few other features that you'll need to know about Docs and how it's different from Microsoft Word. Obviously, to use Google Docs, since it's a Google product, you're going to need a Google account. So once you get signed into your Google account and you go to your Google Drive, which is what I'm looking at now, to create a new Google Doc, you simply hit the blue New button right here and select Google Docs, obviously. So this is going to create a Google Doc in this folder that I'm in now. If you want it in a specific folder, if you have a list of folders for different units or whatever, you'd want to be in that folder first and then select New and Google Docs. It's going to open up a blank Google Doc that's going to look very similar to Microsoft Word. Up here where it says Untitled Document, that's where you're going to want to place the title of your doc. That's what it's going to save as in your Google Drive, so obviously name it something that you will be able to tell what that is by looking at the title. I'm just going to put training for mine, but that's now going to be the name of my Google Doc. Formatting the text is very similar to Microsoft Word as well. Obviously, you're typing down here. This is the font selection, so it defaults to Arial, but there are a plethora of fonts that you can have to choose from. The ones that you're used to: Times New Roman, Georgia, Courier, etc. Comic Sans, everybody's favorite. But there are also a lot more of kind of newer creative fonts as well. These are the ones that they add for you, but if you go down here and click on more fonts, they have a whole catalog, as you can see, of fonts. If you find one that you like to use, if you just click on it and this blue check mark appears, that will go into sort of the default font when you click on the drop-down menu of the fonts. So, if you're looking for something a little more creative for a worksheet, whatever you're creating, look through their fonts and select one that you think best fits your particular need. The 11 here is the default font size. It defaults to 11. You can obviously change that font to bigger or smaller just because it's not in the drop-down. For example, it goes from 12 to 14. If you really want 13, if that's the right size for you, you can just manually type in 13. And then the bold, underline, italic, underline features similar to most word processing softwares. There are other things you can do to format the text by going up to format, like striking through it, and other features as well. This A with the black line under it is the text color. Obviously it defaults to black, but you have countless number of colors you can choose from. In fact, if you don't like any of their defaults, if you click on custom, you can drag this little circle around till you find just the right shade of purple that you were looking for, and format that way. These buttons here are the text alignment, so it obviously defaults to align all the text to the left, but if you wanted to default to the center, you could do that, or to the right, you could do that as well. Also, it has the numbering list and bullet point options, so if you were going to create a list of things, you could go 1, 2, if you wanted those to be bullet points instead of numbers, you could click on the bullet point instead. So again, a lot of these formatting things, if you're used to other word processing softwares, especially Microsoft Word, all of that is probably familiar to you. One thing that I really enjoy about Google Docs that separates it from Word is that all of this is saving automatically. If you look up here, it says all changes saved in Drive. There is no needing to save this as you go. This eliminates students forgetting to save before they exit out of the program and they lose everything, or if the power suddenly goes out and you lose your screen. It has been saving the entire time as you've been going. So you can see if I go ahead, I'm not going to click on any kind of save function. If I just exit out, it saved everything for me right here in this training doc. I can open it back up when I'm ready and continue from there. So you never, even if you're used to Word, again, you'd have to go to File and click on Save or Save As. That's not even an option in Docs. So it's all saving for you as you go, which is a great feature. If you wanted to if you had an image saved and you wanted to insert an image into your doc, you would just select on Insert, obviously, and then select Image, and then wherever you had your images saved, I don't know, I've got it here, the map of the United States there, it would just insert it like that. Then you could format the size and so on of the image. So again, and that's a very similar feature to Microsoft Word. One of the best things, in addition to the fact that you never have to save, about Docs is how it lends itself to collaboration. You can share a doc that you've created with your colleagues or your students very quickly and easily. And I will show you how to do that now. So if you're creating a doc and you wanted to send it to maybe somebody in your particular department, you would just simply click on the share button up here. Right now it defaults to it's private, that's why it's locked, so only I can see this. But if I wanted to share it with some colleagues, and I'm just going to input my other email, it's going to email me and let me know that I've shared it. Someone has shared this doc with me. If I wanted to create a note explaining what this is, that would also be part of the email they'd receive, letting them know that something's been shared with them. And so if I were to hit send, it would share this particular doc with me. I'll go ahead and do that now and see if it'll... So it's going to share that doc with me. I'm going to go to my other Drive account, see if it's there yet. So when it gets shared, I'm not only going to get an email, but it's going to appear in the Shared With Me folder. Right here it is. So this is a completely separate Google account from the one I created this in. But it has sent me the doc that I just created, and I would be able to work on that same doc as well. But here's what you need to be conscious of when you do this. When you share, you have a couple of different options. The default here is going to be edit. So this little pencil means that whoever I'm sharing it with has full capability of editing the doc that I sent them. And it's the exact same doc that I sent them. So if you don't want someone to be able to change permanently what you just created, you're not going to want to give them edit capabilities. Imagine the edit option like if everybody collaborating on it was working on the exact same piece of paper. If it was a physical piece of paper, you would all be writing on the same one. So whatever they do to the paper is going to affect your paper. So again, if this is something that the students are working on in a group and it's some kind of collaboration they're doing, then they're all going to want to be able to edit. But let's say that a student has written an essay and you want them to share it with another student so they can peer edit it. You don't want them to be able to actually change the text, but they should be able to leave comments and kind of peer edit it. Well, then you're going to want to change this pencil to the can comment, which is like this text bubble. And I'll show you how that works. So let's say I was sent this document. If I don't have edit capabilities, I wouldn't be able to type on this, but what I could do is, let's say this name was misspelled. I could hit this comment button and then say name is misspelled. And leave that as a comment. So it's not actually changing the text. It would be like, again, if we're using our physical piece of paper, it would be like if I shared the paper with you and someone would put post-it notes on it. They're not actually changing the text that was created, but they have notes off to the side pointing things out. So it's another way to collaborate without somebody actually being able to change the actual creation that you made, the text that you made. The other option that you have when you share with people is the view only option. So if you give them the view only, that means they can see it, but they can't make any alterations to it. All they can do is view it and then potentially print it. So this would be if you created a classroom syllabus or instructions for a unit, and you want to be able to share that with your students, but you don't want them to be able to actually change your syllabus or your instructions. All you want them to be able to do is view it. You could share it with them in the view only option. The last thing that quickly want to explain to you is if you already have a lot of worksheets or documents that you created in Microsoft Word, because that was the software you were using before and now your school is converting to Google Docs, it's super simple. You don't have to start from scratch again and recreate all of those. I'm trying to find a Word document that I have from the past, but obviously I've been using Google Docs for a while, so here's one. Here's one. I don't want to use those. Let's see if I can find a better one. Oh, I'm in my shared with me folder. That's why. So we go back to my Google Drive. Surely I have a Word document in here. Here's one. So here's some presidential dollar bill assignment that I created. And it's a Microsoft Word document. See the W? That means it's Word. This square is a doc. If you right click on that, this Word document, and just select Open With and then Google Docs, it will automatically convert that file into a Google Doc. And because the two are so similar, it's going to be formatted pretty similar to how you originally had it. You may need to change the font size or some things really quickly, but you don't have to start from scratch. You can easily convert. This used to be a doc, as you can see in the title. It says, or excuse me, it used to be a Word document, and now I've just converted it to a Google Doc. And then what's nice is automatically in your Google Drive, there's the Word document. It's still there. It didn't delete it, but now it's created a Google Doc version of the exact same thing. So if you've already have a lot of worksheets created in Word, you can easily just convert them with a click of a couple of buttons into Docs and then share them and do all the things that Docs can do that perhaps Word can't just by right-clicking, Open With, and Google Docs. That's the basics. Don't be afraid to play around in Google Docs. It's super simple. Hopefully that was helpful for you. If you have any questions, as always, you can contact me.